Hi everyone, here's BookReview once again, and today I'm finally reviewing The Familiar by Danielewski, or better, The Familiar Episode 1, One Rainy Day in May. I say Episode 1 because One Rainy Day in May, this slender beast, is actually the first episode in a series of books called The Familiar, which is going to be apparently 27 volumes long. And notice that I said episode instead of volume at the beginning because Danielewski was very clear in interviews, in his statements, that this is going to be modeled after a TV series. It's going to be in episodes, in volumes, and if people like it, it will continue up to the very end, up to the 27th volume. If people don't like it, it might end sooner than that. I'm saying this from the very beginning because when you get into this thing, it needs to be very clear that you're possibly getting into a 27 volume series, which is going to be rather expensive. I think I bought this thing for 18 or 20 euros on the book depository. If you multiply that for 27, that's a lot. Moreover, if eventually this thing fails, you are maybe gonna get stuck with a series that just half completed. That's probably gonna blow, and I hope that even if the series isn't successful, Danielewski will provide some kind of final volume to conclude the series. I really hope that. That said, I really do hope there's no need of that and that this series goes all the way to the 27th volume, because first things first, The Familiar #1 is a very good book. It's an odd book, even by Danielewski standards, and remember, this is the guy who made House of Leaves, that monument of disturbing, odd, weird, slightly unreadable, but not in a bad way, postmodern fiction. Check my review if you've never heard of it. The Familiar is a very odd experience. I mean, you can see it. You can see what kind of odd book this is. You can see how colorful it is. Maybe the video won't show it too much, but there are lots of pictures in here. The pages are kinda glossy, which sucks. If, like me, you like to take notes on books, because you can't on such a volume, and you get lots of different perspectives on events, and in general, what you get as far as narration, as the core of the novel is, it's a very fragmented novel made of very short chapters. With each chapter, the focalization changes. There is a main thread throughout the novel, but there are also some other subplots here and there that are rather hard at first to understand which way they intertwine with the main plot of the book, and even this main plot, as I said, is presented through different perspectives, and this is handled beautifully in the book. What I'm saying might sound already seen, already heard, already done, but at the same time I think that Danielewski was kinda clever and knew what he did when he wrote this book, and he managed to present different perspectives in an interesting and intelligent way that goes well beyond just like presenting each chapter with a different font. And some of these chapters, some of the chapters in this book look unreadable when you look at them. They really look like a mass of parentheses and mathematical signs, but then when you start reading them, they flow perfectly, and they're a real pleasure to read. There are also some chapters that look like unreadable and are actually unreadable, but even there, I think Danielewski is either very good at writing or kind of a sly fox, because even there you still get one or two understandable paragraphs here and there, so you can actually get to what's going on and you don't feel too lost. This book is imaginative, it's interesting, all of the characters are wonderfully depicted, they're not cliches in any ways. There are many different threads, some fantastical slash semi-fantastical elements that are there to stir the reader's curiosity, and they do that pretty well, pretty amazingly. And most importantly, there are cats all over the cover of this book. I'm not sure you can see it, but yeah, there are cats all over the cover, and that made me fall in love with the book before I even started reading it. So yeah, buy The Familiar Volume 1, buy all the other 26. The spoiler-free part of this review ends here. Stop the video if, like me, you don't like to get into books knowing too much about them, and I'm not going to talk about the plot in the next few minutes, but still, if you're like me on that front, stop the video here. Otherwise, and again, I'm not talking about the plot, you should know that this book is very much a pilot episode. What I mean by that, I mean that this is clearly something that's in a way self-conclusive, but not too satisfyingly. That's obviously there to stir your curiosity some more. It introduces many threads, as I said, but it resolves only one or two of them, and only rather marginally. And in general, yeah, this is to get you addicted to the series, and it manages to do that quite well. But if you're not that certain, if you're looking for something more self-conclusive, for an actual novel, this might not be the best choice for you, or at least you might not want to invest the whatever huge shitload of money you need to buy this thing. You might wanna get it from a library maybe. One last thing that's worth saying is that if you're scared by the size of this book, because it's 880 pages or something like that, you shouldn't, because most of the pages, I don't know if you can see, but most of the pages are almost completely white. This is a 900 page book that reads really like a 200, 300 page book. It's really fast. So that's it. I was impressed with this novel. I will definitely buy and read the second volume, either now or after Christmas. I'm not sure, it's expensive. But anyway, I will read the series. I will go on. If the other volumes are this good, I will keep on until the series lives. What do you think about it? What do you think about this idea of creating this huge series? I have to say that I wasn't that impressed, neither in a good nor in a bad way. I like this idea quite a lot, maybe because I grew up reading lots of comic books, so the idea of reading stuff in a series that might go on forever doesn't like disturb me or upset me that much. But I know there are people who don't like this idea, and even though Danielewski is not necessarily, not really a pop writer, it's impossible for me not to think that it might be some kind of commercial attempt at making lots of money, since there are going to be so many volumes that are gonna cost so much. Because one last thing I have to add, and this is a very dicky comment because I understand the value of such a book like this, why the author wanted to present it like this, I still can't help but thinking that this could have been a slender 300-page paperback without losing too much of the narrative itself. It could have had the pictures, it could have had the graphics, you find some here and there, could have had most of the stuff without maybe the hole in the cover, and still have been just a normal paperback. I really like the aesthetic value of books, and so again, I'm not against such books like this, even though most of the pictures in here, then again, don't really mean anything, or at least are too cryptic to add to the meaning of the book. So again, I have to say this, I'm not too overly impressed by the form, but I like it a lot. I mean, if I were a bit richer, I will probably not say anything about this, but I understand if people criticize the book for this. What do you think, guys? What do you think about the length of the series, about One Rainy Day in May, if you have read it? If you've read the second volume, is it as good as the first one? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.